Well, fine, good afternoon, everyone. This is Patricia, and I am traveling for history. I am in Montpelier, Vermont today, and about to step into St. Augustine Cemetery. How amazing is this? I had never heard of this place. This is a Catholic cemetery that is taken care of by the St. Augustine Church in Montpelier. So I belong to a variety of groups on Facebook. And in the Montpelier history group, someone suggested this one because she said it was abandoned. I thought, ooh, an abandoned cemetery sounds interesting and sad at the same time. But other people in the same group said, no, it's not actually abandoned. It's grass is cut, and I do see that the grass is cut here. Fantastic. I see this is another terraced cemetery, like Greenmount Cemetery. So we are going to be going up today in my car. But I also plan to be strolling through the cemetery to see some names, see some monuments. I have no idea about the cemetery, to be honest, other than it's Catholic and it's terraced. There is virtually nothing online about this place. So we're going to explore it together. Even on the church's website, there's only one sentence about this place mentioning there is a cemetery. So kind of interesting on that score. But I think this looks interesting. Oh, and a paved roadway. Wow. Tell you, and Greenmount Cemetery, it's all gravel. And my car, when I have my foot on the brake at Greenmount and go to put my foot on the accelerator, my car actually slides backwards. That's kind of scary. Because those roads are so steep there. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to get back in my car and drive a little bit and then start walking around. I want to make sure my car is off the roadway just in case someone else wants to come and visit, because it's kind of hard sometimes in cemeteries. That I can see right now there's no way I can park on this side because it's definitely, it's not even sloped. There's just nothing. Nothing. It just would be unsafe. But the right side might be better. All right. I'll be right back. Okie dokie, I am back. So, I'm going to start walking here. I was intrigued by this area because there are so many flags, so many veterans buried in this area. So, I thought we would take a look-see in here first before moving on to other places, showing you some other names, other people. I wonder what kind of plant this is. So many ways to pronounce Gothier, and I think in Burlington there's a Gothier trucking, Gothier like garbage, recycling kind of trucking, but it could be Gautier, if you're going with a French pronunciation, because it definitely looks French. My best guess it is French. So let's come down here, where this area sort of starts. If I may say, it's so unusual that this is upside down to the path. You have to come over here to this side to see it. Kind of interesting. Sidney W. Hallstrom, 1920 to, perhaps he hasn't died yet, and wife Carmen P. Sarabia, 1922 to 1999. If he is alive, he'd be about 101 at the time of this recording. If you do come here, be aware that the ground is very uneven. It's a bunch of trip hazards waiting to happen. All right, so we have Fraser Covale here. This is a perpetual care grave. And let me just come over here and show you. See, it says per care, that's perpetual care. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. We see Lauren Bernard Fraser A2C, U.S. Air Force, World War II, and Korea, May 13, 1928 to October 27, 2015. Isn't this a lovely monument? This is for Cody. Good St. Anne, pray for us. Richard M. and Lillian N. M. 1908 to 1967. He's 1899 to 1972. This is quite lovely. And then a little farther down, there's this monument. For the Canas? I'm not sure. You can certainly correct me in the comments below. I read them all, and I do respond. Let me come over here. Now, I'm not going to venture down into that lower area. Wow, is that a wooden cross? That can't be wooden. It would never stand up to the test of time. Do you see that white cross right there? That's what I'm looking at. I still don't want to go down there though, because I think I'd fall. And that would not make my day complete, to be perfectly honest. But there are some older monuments down in the gully, if you will. I see some, let me see. Let's see. And again, my screen is pretty much washed out by the sun. But, let's see. Where is it? Oh, there we go. Right there. That's such a small stone. I do wonder if that's a child's grave. But, anyway, let's look at this person here. Manuel Canas Jr., U.S. Army, Korea, February 14, 1930 to November 26, 1913. Whenever you see a U.S. flag like that next to a grave, it means someone was a veteran. I mean, look at this sea of the Stars and Stripes. In fact, let me go just a little bit further. This gentleman here, this Manuel Canas, starts off this section. Now I saw these trees with these lovely flowers. I don't know what they are. Hydrangeas? Poppies? I have no idea. You can tell me. I just saw these in another cemetery I filmed just recently in South Burlington, the Ahavath Garum Temple Sinai section, Shabbat section cemetery. Easy to miss if you didn't notice the pillars. But they had the same kinds of trees. Clearly a cemetery sort of tree. But as I said, I don't know what kind. All right, let's continue. Now, I tried hard to park on the grass. Not all my car will go on the grass. My car is very low to the ground. It doesn't like anything that's a little high. So if someone else comes, they better have an itty-bitty, teeny-weeny car. Otherwise, I'm going to have to move mine to get out of their way. All right, let's head down this way a little farther and get back on the paved path just because it's safer for walking. Nice to drive in a paved path too, because most of the places I've been have been grass or gravel, not paved. Lakeview Cemetery is paved. The others I've been to, nope. Wow, there's a rocking chair up there. Wow, See if I can find it for you. Yes, right up there. Very, very cool. It does look like it's made out of stone. I mean, if it were wood, it would never survive winters or summers or anything here. It's about 79, 80 down here, and it's a bit humid. Not like it's been. No heat index warnings, but still, it's not as pleasant as yesterday. Yesterday was fantastic. Okay, here we have a stone tree. I'm guessing there's some sort of symbolism to it. I don't know what it is. Tree of life. Tree has been cut down. Tree is dead. Maybe that's all it is. But it's definitely stone. It's not wood. Beautifully done, though. Not inexpensive. Oh, and here we have our first monument that has fallen over. I don't see how it was attached to the base, although that looks like it could have been a place for it to be. You can tell from the bottom of the monument itself. No, I don't see anything in the bottom. So it does sadden me when I see monuments falling like this. I don't know if this is perpetual care either, because if it is, someone might want to get after them. So the way perpetual care works is there's typically a fee involved, an extra fee involved, and that money is deposited into an account with other people's perpetual care money. And I believe, if I understand this correctly, it would be the interest and dividends on that money that the cemeteries use to care for the monuments. Now, I would say overall, don't pay the extra, because a variety of the cemeteries I've been, particularly recently, haven't lived up to that standard at all. Not even close. There are certainly a lot of French names here, but it looks like maybe in an English sort of area. Mooney, Blair, Marshall, Callahan, Rowe, Mahoney, maybe Irish. Look at those little tombstones. I do wonder if those are children's graves, but they are unreadable. The problem with using marble is that it's such a soft stone that names wear off, dates wear off. This is Francis Blair, by the way. And let's see. Now here, there is looks like a concrete block construction. Not concrete block. Well, maybe. Hard to say. Some sort of concrete construction right here. And I wonder if there's a mausoleum down there. But I can see from here, maybe you can too, how pitted this is, and I'm going to continue to wonder about that. There are no paths to get down there. Looks like this says fountain. Isn't this beautiful? Look at the carvings, the flowers, and the greenery that would have been part of the flowers, the scroll. It's truly beautiful. I don't know who who carved this, but clearly a master craftsman. Oh, Fitzgerald is up there too. Avery. Giro. Such interesting names too. Have you ever looked at the names of these folks buried here? Or buried anywhere for that matter, if it's an older cemetery. Eustache Melot. Eustache. Capital E-U-S-T-A-C-H-E. And that's this one right here. Let me zoom in for you. Wow. And let's see. I saw another one as I was coming up. It was a pair of names. It was just extraordinary. Where were you folks? I think you were down here a little further. This is definitely a French name, Neveu. And note, it's in French. Born, it's May, and then let me see, a spouse of, épouse de. Have just enough French still stuck in my memory banks that I remember that stuff, but it's not a lot. Parker Putnam. I'm kind of hoping to find a grave today, but I doubt I shall, because this is a huge cemetery, and I don't think I'll be here that long to get all of it. But I'll do my best. It's the third great-grandmother of someone in one of the groups I belong to on Facebook. He happened to mention it, and it'd be nice to find her grave. Francis Gravelin, my apologies, 1840-1906. His wife, Rosia Grapeau, 1850 to 1912. And again, beautiful carvings right here. The flowers, the stems, the letter. I mean, the top of this is beautiful. It's just lovely. The scroll. I mean, it takes such skill. I see some usual funerary art. The Obelisk, which is right here. That's the Egyptian sign of eternal life. And so some care has been given here, because that humongous tree is now just a stump right there. So, tree comes down, it's going to take tombstones with it. And I'm inclined to call these tombstones, to be honest. I mean, look how beautiful so many of these are. I don't see those names now. That's too bad. The gentleman was Phileas, like Phil, with an I-A-S on the end. And her name was equally unusual. Now look at that urn. This one right here has the urn at the top, and a drape. It's a cloth draped over it. Now there is symbolism to that, and I cannot remember what it is. But I'm slowly working on funerary symbolism Once I have that, I'll present that in a different format than being at a cemetery. Maybe sitting at home in my dining room. Wow, now that's a concept. I also really like when they say how old they were. In this case, 84 years, 6 months. Since it just tells us they died May 1, 1886. They lived a long, healthy, life. And as I've said before, I also really like when the woman's maiden name is on the marker too. It's just easier to find them, genealogically speaking. So for instance, for this Rivers, we see that it's Lewis Rivers, died May 31, 1885, age 54 years, and Lillian R. Wood, presuming it's his wife, born October 15, 1868, and died September 17, 1949. So that when you're doing a genealogical, research, it's with basic names like Rivers and Wood. My last name is not basic in the U.S., but it is from where my father was from, which was not the U.S. It's like Smith over there, but here it's not. So it's it can be easier to find information on my family for the U.S. side than overseas. So for this, when you see the maiden name is different, you can pair it really easily in that kind of research. All right. I'm going to go ahead and pause this and get in my car, drive a little farther up, and film some more. Alrighty. I'll see you soon. Hang on. Well, I thought I would just mention I found that headstone with those two interesting names. It's right here. Exera Truchon, wife of Phileas Gerard, 1885-1919. She didn't live that long. 31, 32 years old. But those are such unusual names. And there we are, panned in. I thought you'd be interested in seeing them since I had mentioned them earlier. All right. I'm going to head and walk up the hill. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it again, and I'll be right back. Hang on. Okay, I have reparked my car in the shade. And I don't know if I said this before, I can't recall, but this is really the first time I've ever left my car not only unlocked, but the windows open, because really there's just nobody here besides me. And this cemetery, in case you don't know, is at the end of a neighborhood. I do wonder how many kids have played in here. I'm not a fan of that. Cemeteries are a place to respect the dead. They can't protect themselves anymore. They're incumbent upon others, of us who are living, to care for their tombstones and whatnot. Ooh, this grass could be trimmed some. Alrighty. This certainly looks like a newer grave, but, well, it's not, though. We can see from the lamb that this is a child's grave. I saw it when I was driving up. I thought, child graves. Delbert Butchie Jones, 1952 to 1956. And clearly, there are people who are caring for this in some manner. We have solar lights and flowers and pinwheels and some children, like a bunny down there. This a Cupid-like angel, a pumpkin head over here. Let me pan in. You can't see that from where I am, but you can see it now. It's makes me sad to see children's graves. It just does. Makes me wonder what they would have been like had they lived. Now that's interesting. There is this stone wall right here. Let's head in for you. And goes all the way up to there. And it seems to go, I can see it right down here. Yeah, right down in there as well. Pretty interesting. I wonder why that's there. Maybe it's someone else's land on the other side. I did see a sign posted for no hunting down below. Maybe there's no trespassing. There's a posted area anyway. So let's walk down the hill. Of course, the downside of walking down this hill is I got to come back up. You will not be with me on that journey. I'm always hoping that you are home in your recliner with your feet up, cat on your lap, dog at your side, and your children at your knee. But who knows where you are. Wow. Now, I know from another video I had done, I think cemetery video was the Burlington Hebrew Holy Society video. I think it was part 1. I was asking what the Hebrew meant. If anyone knew, please let me know. And someone had suggested using Google Translate. Now, I can't get into Google Translate whilst I'm recording, and I don't know what language this is. So, if anyone knows what language this is, maybe I'll translate this later, because I've taken a photograph of it so I can just type it in. But pretty interesting. Petar Rakela, no idea. I'm guessing this is born and died. 1881 to 1930. Interesting. Okay. Let's head down the hill some more. And as you can see, we're at the other end of the military graves. I started down at the other end there, down over there, and they're right here. Ooh. Do you see this headstone right here? That one that's on the angle? 1 or 2 more frost heaves and that's going to land face down, unreadable. Such a shame. So, in case you don't know how headstones are typically attached to their base, I've seen enough now that I can explain at least one way it's done. That so there's the base, and then there's the the headstone part where the written part is. So the base has typically 2 holes in it, drilled through, and the headstone part has metal rods, and they're put into the stone. Not sure how deep into the stone, but then the holes are put into the rods are put into the holes in the base, and that's how they're connected. And after time, the time and frost heaves and lack of care, the headstone portion will fall off of the base. Hopefully not landing face down, but 6 one, half dozen of another that does. As I continue the stroll, there's a mausoleum up there. I'll be visiting up there pretty shortly because I'm parked kind of close to there. So I'll drive up, and where you see that stone wall, right there, that's a roadway. So my plan is to go up there, see what's at the top of this cemetery. I wonder if there are any Medal of Honor recipients buried here. I've seen, let me see, 4 buried at Greenmount Cemetery, and I'll put a link in the description below. Several at Lakeview Cemetery. 7, maybe? If you check the playlist, I have, and these are all U.S. Civil War people. So if you check my playlist, I have a U.S. Civil War, I have a Medal of Honor, I have a Lakeview Cemetery, 30 videos from that cemetery alone. If you like cemeteries as much as I do, you may want to check them out. Oh, there are people here. Young people. High schoolers, maybe. College age? Oh. Oh, Gingras. This one right here. Now, I live in Chittenden County. I'm in Washington County right now. And I went to school with a Gingras up in Chittenden County. I'm not saying they're